Winter paddling is beautiful and peaceful, but requires a lot more gear than summer paddling. I'm Marybeth, and in today's video, we're going to talk all about what to wear winter paddling. One of the biggest obstacles to winter paddling is the investment in gear. To start, you'll need to decide whether you're going to invest in a dry suit or a wetsuit. Both have their pros and cons. Let's take a deeper dive into wetsuits. Wetsuits are made of neoprene, which insulates you by trapping a thin layer of water between your body and the neoprene. Your body heat warms the trapped layer of water, keeping you warm. Putting on a wetsuit can be challenging, but you want it to fit snug. The neoprene can't do its job to keep you warm if it's loose or there's large gaps between your body and the neoprene. Keep in mind that wetsuits will stretch over time, making it easier to put on and move. Before buying a wetsuit, know that there are different types. For example, a surfing wetsuit will have a different thickness on the arm than the core. It allows the mobility in the arms. Versus a scuba wetsuit will have the same thickness throughout the suit, limiting the mobility but keeping the scuba diver warm. For paddling, I'd recommend getting a surfing wetsuit since you're using your arms. Wetsuit thickness is measured in millimeters. In surfing wetsuits, there are two numbers that illustrate the thickness of the suit. The first number represents the core and often the legs in winter suits, which are usually 5'4" millimeters and above. And the second number represents the thickness of neoprene in the arms. To learn about wetsuit thickness according to the water temperature, there's lots of great guides online. I'll link to one in the description below. Options for wetsuits continue. Like the entry point, there's chest zips, back zips, zipless, as well as the construction. Types of stitching, gluing, taping, all of these factor into the cost and the overall warmth and performance of the wetsuit. Wetsuits aren't as bulky as dry suits, making it a great fit if you're looking to use it for other things other than paddling, like winter surfing. Now, let's talk about dry suits. Dry suits are arguably more comfortable and warmer when you're out of the water than a wetsuit. The goal of a dry suit is not to keep you warm. It's to keep you dry. Unlike a wetsuit, there are no temperature ranges for a dry suit. The warmth for a dry suit comes all in what you're wearing underneath. A dry suit is more expensive, but it gives you the ability to layer up underneath so you can adjust to the water temperatures. Wear smart layers that will wick away moisture and maintain your body heat. Avoid cotton. Once it's wet from the moisture of your body or sweat, it will stay cold. I wear polypropylene, merino wool, or polyester as my wicking base layer, and fleece as the mid-insulating layer. Like wetsuits, there are different types of dry suits. There are suits that will keep you fully dry when submerged with latex gaskets at the neck, wrists, and sometimes feet. There are semi-dry suits that use neoprene cuffs to hold the seal, but will slowly let in water if submerged. Latex gaskets are often not as comfortable as neoprene cuffs, but they will fully seal the water out of the suit. Fully sealed dry suits come in one piece and are typically a front entry or a back entry. Semi-dry suits come in a one piece, or you can opt to get a bottom and a top. Deciding on a dry suit or a semi-dry suit comes down to personal preference and knowing what you'll be doing and where you'll be doing it. I personally like the full dry suit as it gives me the safety and security in the winter time of being fully dry. It also provides more options and opportunities and the ability to climb into the water and check out the neat ice. Both dry and semi-dry suits have the option to include socks in the suit where your feet will stay fully dry. I like having my feet fully sealed and dry in the suit. That way, I can layer up with warm, thick wool socks. Some dry suits come with a hood, which is a great addition as an outer protective layer. Keep in mind that the hood won't keep you warm from the air temperature, but will shield you from the wind, rain, or snow. Other things to think about when it comes to a dry suit. Avoid higher collar or hooded underlayers because they'll just get in the way of the neck gasket to seal the suit, and it's extra bulk that's in the suit that you're not gonna need. It just gets in the way. Female versus male dry suits. Females will have a backdrop zipper, while males will have a front zipper. That way, you can go to the bathroom without having to take off the entire dry suit. Don't forget to burp the suit before heading out on your adventure. Since the suit is airtight, you'll need to remove all the air that's trapped in the suit, also known as burping. If you forget to do this, the suit will be extra bulky, and when submerged in the water, you'll feel like a giant balloon. It's worth mentioning that gear failure with a rip or a tear in a wetsuit won't jeopardize the overall performance of the suit, unless of course the water is continually rushing through the suit. If a dry suit zipper or seal fails, the insulating layers inside will be compromised. Water in your dry suit won't sink you, but the real danger is hypothermia and difficulty swimming. Whether you have a wetsuit or a dry suit, it's important to inspect and test your gear. With dry suits, it's especially important to inspect your seals for rips, tears, and ensure that your zippers are in working order and fully closed. Handling your dry suit with care and maintaining the seals and zippers will go a long way in terms of safety. Most rips or tears happen when you're putting on or taking off your suit, so be mindful and go slow. Honestly, testing your gear is a blast. It's fun to get into the cold water, check out the neat ice, and it's a great idea to scout out the area that you'll be paddling. Before you decide on a wetsuit or a dry suit, consider what's best for you, your budget, and the activities you will be participating in. Try renting gear before you fully commit to purchasing. And be sure to do more research, including going into a shop to try on the gear and talk to someone in person. You could also score a deal in an off-season sale, or keep an eye on used gear markets. Just be sure that you're buying from a trusted source and you're inspecting it before you buy. Now, let's talk about your head, hands, and feet. 40 to 45% of your heat is lost through your head, so it's important that you're covering it with a warm hat or a neoprene hood. Full winter wetsuits typically come with a hood attached to the suit, or you can buy a neoprene hood. Having a wetsuit with a hood attached helps prevent any possible flooding of water into your suit. With dry suits, you can add a neoprene hood once the dry suit is fully on. This will also help seal the neck gasket, especially if you opted for a semi-dry neoprene one. The other option is to wear a warm, insulated hat, or as we call it in Canada, a toque. This is what I like to wear, as toques are more comfortable than a neoprene hood, and I'm not looking to fully submerge my head. I do carry an extra warm toque with me in my dry bag in case of an emergency situation and the toque I'm wearing gets wet. Hands. Regardless if you're wearing a wetsuit or a dry suit, your hands are exposed. Wearing neoprene gloves, mitts, finger mitts, or lobster claw is totally a personal preference. I like to use a 5mm glove in the spring or fall when the water temperatures are cold, but in the cold winter months, I use a 7mm neoprene mitt. Mitts with thick neoprene are much harder to use your hand, and my hands become tired from holding the paddle for a while. But I've never had cold hands. Feet. If you're wearing a wetsuit or a dry suit where your feet are exposed, you'll need to wear thick neoprene booties. If you have a dry suit with built-in socks, you'll want to wear nice warm wool socks as your underlayer. On the outside of your dry suit, you can wear any type of footwear to protect the dry suit socks that you don't mind getting wet. I don't want to ever have cold feet, so I double up. I wear thick wool socks as my base layer in the dry suit and 8mm neoprene booties on the outside. Lastly, on what to wear winter paddling, one of the most important pieces of gear, a vest PFD. Not only is this a vital piece of safety equipment, but it'll also help with overall insulation. I only use my vest PFD in the winter for added safety versus my inflatable waist belt PFD. An inflatable waist belt PFD won't save you if you're unconscious. It also has more mechanics that could potentially freeze over, making the PFD useless. Neoprene in a wetsuit and air bubbles in a dry suit will help with buoyancy, but it's no replacement for a PFD. Safety is always #1 priority, especially winter paddling. Cold water can be extremely dangerous, and hypothermia is a real risk. Be safety conscious and use common sense. Paddle close to shore, it's where the neat stuff is anyways. Have a buddy, wear your PFD, plan and assess the risks every time you go out. Curious to learn more? Check out my video on winter paddling to learn what to expect and why I love winter paddling, or watch the video on winter paddleboarding tips. Winter paddling might not be for you, and that's okay. Never take the risk if you're not comfortable, knowledgeable, prepared with the proper gear for the water temperatures, or you're not planning and ready to deal with worst case scenarios. The adventure is never worth your health and safety. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Until next time, stay safe and happy adventuring.